started on our knees and down in child's pose. So spread your knees out wide, let your forehead rest on the mat, reach your arms out in front of you, and just stretch, breathe. Working your hands over to one side, and then over to the other. Ease ourselves up on the hands and knees, and come all the way up into a down dog. We'll pedal out our legs here, shaking out our head, spreading your fingers out wide. Breathing deeply the whole time. In and out through your nose. You're going to lift one leg up, bend your knee, and open up your hip here. Trying to keep your shoulders square and fingers are spread. Feeling the standing leg, relax that heel down. So stretching out that hamstring as you open up your hip and your side body. And we'll try that on the other side, lifting your other leg up, bend your knee and open up your hip. Try to relax that heel down to the floor again to warm up those hamstrings. And bring that leg back down. We'll come forward into a high plank, come down into a low plank, through into an up dog, and back into a down dog. So here's where if you want to pause it and do a headstand, you can go ahead and do that. If you don't want to do a headstand, we'll keep going. We can do some sort of inversion. But so we'll just walk our feet all the way up to our hands. Inhale all the way up to standing. And release your hands down. So we're going to move through some sun salutations to get our blood flowing. So coming to the front of your mat, taking a deep breath in. Exhale, palms to touch. Inhale, arms come up and back. Release your hands behind your back, interlace your hands, inhale, look up, arch back. Exhale, fold forward onto bent knees, let your head drop, interlaced hands coming up and over your head. Release your hands, reach forward, inhale into chair. Exhale into standing forward fold. And try that again, inhale, reach all the way up to the sky. Exhale, release your hands behind your back, interlace your hands, maybe with a different finger on top. Inhale, arch it back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach forward into chair, sit back into your heels. Exhale, down, standing forward fold. One more time like that, inhale, reach all the way up to the sky. Release your hands behind your back, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, flatten out your back. Connect with the mat and walk or float your feet back into a high plank. You can stand your toes or drop to your knees and come down into a low plank. Inhale through into an up dog. Exhale, down dog. Right foot comes through your hands. Drop your back foot, warrior one, reach up. Open up, warrior two. Inhale, reach back. Exhale all the way down to the mat. Chaturanga, keep exhale. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot comes through your hands. Drop your back foot, reach up, warrior one. Open up, warrior two. Inhale, reach back. Exhale all the way down to the mat. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Bend your knees, walk or float your feet up to your hands. Inhale, arms come up and back. We'll try that again. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, flat back. Connect with the mat, walk or float. Chaturanga down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. right foot comes through your hands, drop your back foot, warrior one. Open up, warrior two. Inhale, reach back. Exhale all the way down, chaturanga. Engage through your core, your legs. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Left foot comes forward, warrior one. Open up. Inhale. Exhale all the way down. One more chaturanga here. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Bend your knees, walk or float your feet. Inhale, arms come up and back. And release your hands down. Whew. Hopefully your blood's flowing a little bit more. We're going to move through some side bends. So you're going to bring your feet down to the floor, or your toes together, your feet are on the floor. Squeeze your thighs, engage your belly, and we'll lift our arms all the way up, interlace your fingers, try to relax your shoulders, and just bend over to one side. Breathing deeply here. I'm going to inhale and come back up. And exhale over to the other side. And squeezing your thighs, squeezing your butt. And then come all the way back up. Release your hands. Interlace your hands behind your back. Inhale, look, arch back. And come all the way back up. Reach your arms all the way up. Come forward and down. We'll come into gorilla pose. You're going to work your hands all the way underneath your feet. You can bend your knees to get there. Try to get your toes to your wrists. And then drop your head and start to work your legs towards straight. So nice stretch for your wrists, your lower back, maybe your middle back. Just see what feels good. Again, breathing here. And then release your hands out from underneath your feet. We're going to come into a yogi squat. So you're going to just come all the way down. It's okay if your heels come up off the floor, but if you can get your heels down, that's great too. And use your elbows to push your knees out wide. Just opening up through the hips. Trying to get your tailbone down towards the floor and the top of your head towards the sky. Try to breathe deeply here. All right, and then we're going to bring our hands down to the floor, walk back into a high plank. We'll come down into a low plank. Inhale through to an up dog. Exhale back into a down dog. Looking for your hands, bring your left foot through your hands, coming into just a runner's lunge here. So you're going to set up for a crescent lunge, so make sure your fingers are in line with your toes, feel that back leg get nice and strong. We're going to lift all the way up, stand on the ball of that back foot. We're going to wrap our right arm underneath our left. So eagle arms here. Feel your elbows lift up, your hands come away from your face, and relax your shoulders as you try to get deeper into your crescent lunge. All the while we're breathing. Try to release those front toes. Feel that front knee reaching out towards the left. And then we'll release our arms all the way up. We're going to come right into an airplane. So we're going to launch forward onto that front standing leg and see how much we can lower down. Flexing that right foot often helps me. Trying to lower that right hip in line with your left. Sometimes we wibble and wobble. And so from here, we're going to come into a revolved half moon. And so if you have a block, you can use it. If you don't have a block, you can use like a can of tomatoes. And so your right hand comes down to the floor as your left arm lifts up. You could use a water bottle too. Just keep going deeper into the pose. And then we're going to launch ourselves all the way back into our crescent lunge and come down into a separate leg stretch. So your hands come down to the floor or again to blocks if you like. And dropping your hands down, lifting those front toes if you like. Just trying to feel a stretch in this front leg. It really doesn't matter where your hands end up, as long as you feel it as a stretch. And if you're more flexible, you can turn your hands around, you can walk your hands back, see what feels good. Using that breath to help you get into the back of that front leg. And now put a bend in that front leg. We'll drop that back foot, come up into Warrior One. Open up into Warrior Two. Inhale into a Peaceful Warrior. And we're gonna come right into side angle pose. So left elbow is gonna come onto your left knee as your right arm reaches up to the sky. And reach over your head. Try not to sink into the shoulder. It's just, your elbow is just there to help you connect with your leg. Maybe come a little bit deeper into that front leg. And we're gonna come a little bit lower into this side angle pose. So let your left hand come down your leg. You can come down to the floor, to a block, to your ankle. Reaching up with that right hand. And then bring that right hand down to the floor. Come onto the ball of that back foot. We'll come into a twist here. Left arm reaches up to the sky. And then let both hands come down to the floor. We'll come into a low lunge. So uncurl, bring your knee down to the floor, uncurl your toes, and just let your hips drop forward. Nice deep breaths the whole time. Bring your hands down to the floor. We'll come into a nice hamstring stretch here. So straighten out your front leg. You can grab hold of your toes if you want. Again, blocks or something to bring the floor close to you is fine too. And so just trying to fold onto that front leg. Each inhale, you feel yourself lengthen. And each exhale, you fold just a little bit more. And now put a bend in that front leg. We'll come into a nice quad stretch here. So your right hand is going to come down to the floor, bend that back leg, and grab hold of your back foot. So here you can use a towel if you want to get your foot closer to you. You're just continuing to bring that heel closer to your butt. And then release the foot. So here we're going to come into either a modified split, where your leg is going to go off to the side, or you can bring your leg out in front of you, coming into a regular split, I guess. Folding. Release that front leg, let it come back. Turn your fingertips around, and we'll move through some modified cat-cow. So inhale and round, and exhale You exhale as you come up. And inhale as you arch. And then release your hands. We'll come back into a down dog here. Pedaling out our legs. Looking forward, bring your right foot through your hands. And switch sides. We're going to come into a crescent lunge on this side. So again, lining up your fingers with your toes. Your back heel is reaching to the back of the room, or the back of your mat, and we'll come up into a nice strong crescent lunge here. And again, eagle arm. So this time your left arm goes underneath your right. Feel that back leg get strong. We're going to breathe. And then release your arms. Let them reach all the way up. We'll come into an airplane. I'm coming back this side. We'll come into an airplane on this side. Oops. And so your hands can be in prayer. They can be reaching behind you. They can reach out in front of you. They can go out to the sides. See what works best for you. Take my block and come into revolved half moon. Remember, if you're using a block or any support, your hand is just dropping right underneath your shoulder. Don't bring it too close in. And as you twist here, reach all the way up with that top hand. And then we'll release that block and come right back into our crescent lunge, reaching your arms up. And then hands come down to the floor or to a block for that separate leg stretch. Breathing deeply. Put a bend in that front leg. Drop your back foot. Come up into warrior one. Open up into warrior two. Peaceful warrior. And we'll come into that side angle pose on this side. So right elbow to your right knee. Reach that left arm all the way up to the sky. And then over your head. And then we'll come into that deeper side angle pose. So again, bring your right hand down your ankle or to the floor or a block. Lifting that left arm up to the sky. And then your left hand comes down to the floor, come onto the ball of that back foot. We'll come into a nice opposite twist here as your right arm reaches up to the sky. And then both hands come down to the floor. We'll come in to drop that back knee, uncurl your toes, coming into a low lunge here. Hands come down to the floor. Straightening out that front leg. Come into a nice little quad stretch, a hamstring stretch here. You can think about hitching that right hip up a little bit more to intensify the stretch. put a bend in that front knee. Coming into our quad stretch on this side. So bend that back leg, grab hold with opposite hand to opposite foot. Bring that foot closer towards you. Looking up, maybe over your shoulder. See what feels good. And then releasing that foot. We'll come into, again, that modified split. You can go off to the side, or if you want it out in front of you. Stretches a little bit different parts of your leg, but they're both good. Ourselves out of that and come into another cat-cow stretch here. You can keep your fingers pointing forward this time if you like. Inhale, arch, and exhale, round. Inhale, arch, and exhale, round. All right, we're going to ease ourselves all the way down to our bottoms and come into a straddle pose here. So your legs go out to the sides. And so here you can roll up a towel or something to put it underneath your butt to help you lift up a little bit more if you want. Or you can just stay here, stretching your inner thighs. We don't always get there. So trying to think about your lengthening through your spine and slowly coming down. I'll tell you, when I practice this on my own, I like to hold this for like a minute, but I won't make us do that here. If you have the time, pause it and just stay here for a little bit. So this is one of those poses where you kind of hang out for it to really work. We're going to ease out, bring your knees in, and let them drop left and right. All right, we're going to come into a seated spinal pose. Seated spinal twist. So take your right knee to the floor, your left leg goes over. Let your left hand come behind you, reach your right arm all the way up, and then twist. So you're going to use your elbow to push your knee to the side. You can hug your knee to your chest. You can bind. See what works for you. So you're going to take a deep breath here and twist. Each inhale, lengthen and get a little bit taller. And each exhale, twist a little bit more. And then keep your body where it is and just let your chin rest on your shoulder. It's a nice shoulder stretch. Contemplative pose. And then release. Give yourself a little opposite twist. We're going to grab hold of that foot with your opposite hand. So if you can't get to your foot, you can use a towel. You can grab hold of your ankle, your calf, wherever. And we're going to lift and twist and look behind you, flexing that extended foot to really stretch through your outer thigh, hamstring, IT. And then come back through center, bend that leg, and we're going to come into cow face pose. So one knee is stacked on top of the other, and we're going to take that right arm and lift it all the way up, and then see if you can reach around and grab hold of your fingers. Again, here you can use a towel to help you along. Try to release your head, sit up nice and tall. And take some deep breaths here. And then release your hands. You can walk your hands out in front of you, relax down. And come all the way back up. And we'll switch sides. So shake out your legs And try that the other way. So your left leg is on the floor, is bent, and your right leg goes across. You can always straighten out your bottom leg too if that makes it easier to twist. And so right hand comes behind you, left arm lifts up, and then come into whatever version of a seated spinal twist works for you. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, look as far behind you as you can. Try and relax your legs. And again, keeping your body where it is, but let your chin rest on your shoulder. And then release. Give yourself an opposite twist. And grabbing that foot with your left hand, or your ankle, or your shin, and we'll just lift and twist. Just a little extra stretch for your leg. Nice twist for your spine. And now we'll come into that cow face pose. So drop your right knee on top of your left. Try to bring your feet away from you. As your left arm lifts up, let it come behind, and then see if you can reach around and grab hold. Again, releasing your head. Try to relax your shoulders. And just take some deep breaths here. And then release and walk your hands out in front of you. Come all the way back up. We're going to make our way over to the floor. So we're going to come all the way down. Relax your head on the floor, and we'll come up into a bridge. So lift those hips up. Let your fingertips reach towards your heels. You can interlace your hands here if you like. Just try to lift those hips as high as they'll go. Try to keep your thighs parallel to one another. Taking some deep breaths here, so your chest is totally open. You can fill those lungs. And then release down. Pressing your back into the floor, hug your knees into your chest. And come into happy baby pose. So rolling left and right. And then wrapping your right knee over your left, grab hold of your feet and pull your feet in towards you as your tailbone tries to come down to the floor. It's a nice outer hip stretch. And I'll try that on the other side. So your left leg goes over your right. Grab hold of your feet. So you're crossing your knees at the knees. You're crossing your legs at your knees and pulling your feet in towards you. It's kind of a reclined cow face, really. And release. I'll do one more bridge here so your feet come down to the floor. Lift those hips up. Lift nice and high. Release down. Again, hugging your knees into your chest and coming into another happy baby pose here. All right, so we're going to come up into a shoulder stand. So you're going to roll your legs all the way over your head and then support your lower back, lifting your legs up. So try not to look left or right in this pose. legs go up nice and high. You can always take a towel and roll it underneath your shoulders to lift your shoulders further off the mat, and that helps to release any pressure on your cervical spine. You can also think about looking behind you. That gives a little bit of a bend in your neck to again keep your cervical spine off the mat. And then we'll drop one leg down to the floor and bend the other. And switch. And come back up. And we'll try dropping both toes over onto the floor. If your toes get there, you can release your hands. Nice stretch here through the whole back side of your body. Put those toes on the floor if you want more. And then we'll slowly roll out. You can always come back to this or stay in longer if you want to stay longer. Coming right into fish pose. So let your arms come underneath you. Drop your head back. Take some lion breaths here. Lift your head up to look at your toes and ease yourself all the way down to the floor. We're going to come into a shoulder stretch. We're going to roll over onto our bellies. You're going to work your hand out to the side, put a bend in your elbow, and then roll over onto your side. Palm all the way back through center and try it on the other side. This is another one of those poses that it's nice to hold it longer. So if you have the time, just press pause and stay here maybe for a minute on each side. Come back. We'll come up onto our hands and knees. And all the way back into a down dog. We're going to lift our left leg all the way up to the sky. And we're going to come into a fallen warrior. So we're going to kick your left leg over to the right side of your body. Lift that right arm up. Come all the way down. Rest that hip down, and we're going to lace that right arm all the way through. So really twisting yourself up here. We'll ease ourselves out and come right into a resting half pigeon. So just slide that left knee in. Bring your right foot back, have it pull you back. We'll inhale here, and exhale, come all the way down. Back up. Bending that back leg, one more quad stretch here. See if you can grab hold. This time, same hand, same foot. And then release. We'll pedal out our legs and try that on the other side. So this time, your right leg comes all the way up to the sky. Kick your right foot all the way over to the left side. Lift that left arm up. Hands come down, drop your hip, This is a hard one to get into, because you can always be up higher, you can use a block, you can modify how you need to. Just see if you can get a twist and a stretch. And then come all the way back up. We'll come into that resting half pigeon. So your right knee comes to the right side of your mat. Left leg comes back. Inhale. And exhale, come all the way down. We'll come back up. And for that quad stretch on this side, grab hold left hand to left foot. See if you can pull it towards you. And then release. We'll come into down dog one more time, pedaling out our legs. Coming into a kneeling position, taking a second with your hands in prayer. Just to be grateful that we got to move our bodies today. Namaste.